Welcome back. Before we get into today's story, picture this. A farmer kneeling beside a circular pit dug into black volcanic ash somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. No rain has fallen in weeks. The wind is constant. And yet, at the bottom of that pit, a single green vine is thriving, pulling moisture from the night air, rooted in rock that was molten less than 1,000 years ago. That's not a fluke. That's terroir doing something most wine drinkers never think about, and that's what we're exploring today. This weekend, we visited two islands that couldn't look more different. Lanzarote, a black moonscape in the Canary Islands, and Santorini, golden cliffs above the Aegean Sea in Greece. But here's the thread that ties them together. Both islands were built by volcanoes, and both produce wine that tastes unlike anything grown anywhere else on Earth. Today I want to explain why. What does volcanic soil actually do to a grape? And why do some of the oldest surviving vineyards in the world keep turning up on the slopes of volcanoes? Wine people throw around the word terroir constantly, and it can sound almost mystical. It isn't. Terroir just means the total environment a vine grows in, the soil beneath it, the climate around it, the slope it sits on, the direction it faces toward the sun. Here's a simple way to think about it. Plant the exact same seed in sandy soil versus heavy clay, and you'll get two different plants. Same genetics, different life. A grapevine works the same way, and nowhere is that more dramatic than on a volcano. Volcanic soil starts as something else entirely. Lava, ash, pumice. Over centuries, that rock slowly breaks down into soil. But it's a strange kind of soil. It's mineral-rich, packed with magnesium, potassium, iron, but almost completely missing one thing most soil has plenty of: organic matter, and often very little clay. That means volcanic soil drains fast. It holds almost no water close to the surface. For a vine, that's a hard life. Clay is generous. It holds water and nutrients right where shallow roots can reach them easily. Volcanic soil offers none of that comfort, so the vine has to work for it, sending roots deep, sometimes many meters down, searching for whatever moisture and minerals it can find. And here's the paradox that runs through almost everything interesting in wine. A stressed vine produces fewer grapes, smaller grapes, and far more concentrated flavor. The harder the life, the more interesting the wine. Lanzarote and Santorini are both extreme examples of exactly that principle. Now, I want to be honest with you here because this is genuinely debated among wine scientists. Some researchers believe minerals from the soil are absorbed by the vine and directly influence the taste of the wine. Others argue the vine filters almost everything out before it ever reaches the grape, and that what we're calling minerality is really just high acidity and a lack of fruitiness that our brains interpret as stoniness. Nobody has fully settled this. But here's what's not up for debate. Tasters, again and again, find a saline, smoky, stone-like quality in wines grown on volcanic soil that simply doesn't show up in the same grape grown somewhere else. Whatever the mechanism, the effect on your glass is real. In the 1860s, a tiny insect called phylloxera arrived in Europe and quietly devastated almost every vineyard on the continent. It fed on vine roots underground, and within a few decades it had destroyed centuries of viticultural history. Almost every vineyard you can think of in France, Italy, and Spain had to be replanted on resistant American rootstock just to survive. Almost every vineyard, except the ones growing in pure volcanic ash or sand. The pest couldn't establish itself there. That's why some of the vines on Lanzarote and Santorini are genuinely ancient, ungrafted, untouched, some of them potentially 300 or 400 years old. They were saved by the very thing that made them difficult to grow in the first place. So, If you want a place to start exploring volcanic wine, here are 3 doors in. Lanzarote, in Spain's Canary Islands, black ash. The Malvasia grape, completely unlike anything else you've tasted. Santorini, in Greece, pale pumice cliffs. The Assortico grape, bone-dry and mineral. And if you've been here a while, you'll remember we covered a third one a while back, Sicily's Mount Etna, where the Nerello Mascalese grape is quietly becoming one of the most exciting reds in Italy. 3 volcanoes, 3 completely different wines, one shared secret underneath all of them. If you want a simple place to start, this is what I'd say. Ask for a bottle of Santorini Assortico at any decent wine shop. Tell them volcanic, Greek, white. They'll know exactly what you mean. That's the story of volcanic wine, proof that some of the most difficult places on earth to grow anything end up producing the wines worth remembering most. Thanks for being here. Follow for wine stories every weekend, and a longer one like this every Monday.